Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I really feel honored, to be here together with you. And I listened to some, great talks. And although I didn't understand, the entire part, but still I caught some words were kind of English, some words. Still I think, were used in Turkish. So when I was listening to sister, I think she said like her taraf, so we are using that expression in Turkish as well. So I'm sure that most of you heard about the song Kashmir is my name, right? If you have heard that song, can you raise your hand? Kashmir is my name. Yeah. My story of Kashmir started with that song. Of course, it continues. Let me also give some information about how did I start writing songs. Almost 10 years or 11 years ago, being an English teacher, I wanted to teach English through some songs, and I started collaborating with a rap singer from America. So we were making some rap songs for teaching English. And of course, rap songs is a kind of mixture of speaking and singing, right? So in terms of pronunciation, when you make it kind of slower, it could be really useful. But normally today, I'm sure that if you listen to some rap songs in Urdu, maybe you wouldn't understand, because most rap songs are very fast, and sometimes it doesn't make much sense, right? And then it was like 6 years ago, my first professional song came. So it was about Syrian refugee kids. So in Turkey we started having lots of Syrian refugees. Now I think it should be around 4 million. And then I started thinking, what should I do? Because I want to raise the voice of Syrian refugees. And Europe, they didn't care about Syrian refugees and all the, I don't want to use the words burden, but of course, when there are many refugees in Pakistan, there are also Afghan refugees. So there are also some economic problems, and sometimes, some people also start developing a kind of grudge against refugees. So I wanted to break that bias. And in my office, I was thinking, okay, if I write an English song, so who's going to sing? So I don't know the music environment very well, but if you have really a good purpose, Allah always helps you. Because I was just sharing the same room with my roommate in the office, and he told me that he has got a relative, in Switzerland, and he joined kind of voice contest, and because his name was Muhammad, he was eliminated, but actually his voice was very good. Yeah, that person, you can remember that person from the song I Am Kashmir. If you listen to I Am Kashmir, Ekrem, yeah, that guy was raised in Switzerland, so he's also a great singer. So that's how we contacted, him, and we didn't have any funds. We didn't have any money. We're going to make a song, and we want it to be powerful. We don't have any experience, and it's going to be kind of the first professional song. But really, when you feel something, when something comes from your heart, then things start changing. Because when I shared the lyrics, Ekrem, he cried for some time, and even he couldn't sing and record the song in the studio, because he just felt the impact of the song. And in English we say, what comes out of heart goes to heart. And every time I tell my students, the great saying of Rumi, Mevlana, as you know, Rumi's shrine is located in Konya, in Turkey. So in Turkey we've got a great affection for Mevlana Rumi, and what he says, even if you speak 100 languages, if you cannot speak the language of heart, you are a mute. So everything starts with heart. You should really feel something. So heart is the most universal language. And for Kashmir, So one brother living from Turkey, and suddenly he created a song about Kashmir. But before that, when we created the song about Syrian refugees, it really became so popular, and even the most famous musicians, maybe his name's Mustafa Ceceli. Did you ever hear about Mustafa Ceceli? He's kind of very famous in Turkey. He listened to the song and he said, this song is really very powerful. And after the song was released, it became viral, and we were really very surprised with the success. It has reached President Erdogan, and President Erdogan has played the song several times in his international programs. And one time when world leaders came to Turkey, he made world leaders listen to that song so that they could understand the problems of Syrian refugees. So it was a very interesting experience for us. With the first one, we didn't have any budget, nothing. But when you do something with your heart, it really becomes successful. I mean, that's how I saw that. If you are doing something to oppress people, Allah opens all the doors for you. So that was an interesting experience for us. Then I kept on writing. I wrote songs about Jerusalem, Don't Cry Jerusalem. I wrote a song about Yemen. So how can we carry your burden, Yemen? Because as Muslims, we cannot carry that burden. Some children are dying from hunger, and of course, the Muslim world, we cannot help those brothers, and those brothers, unfortunately, there is a kind of civil war, and they are killing each other, and there's some countries, they're also supporting the civil war, so that's another problem. Then I started writing about mothers, African mothers, and for Kashmir, when I was a student in high school, the first time I heard about Kashmir, I didn't hear much. I just know that it was also one of the oppressed lands. When, elder brothers were talking about Palestine, Afghanistan, so that time Afghanistan was also very popular in Turkey. I also heard about Kashmir. And many years later, I was checking the media and I saw that the special status of Kashmir was abolished, and I understood, I felt, there is a great danger for our brothers and sisters. And then I started, hearing about that curfew. Almost 1 million soldiers were sent, to that place. And then I started hearing about fake encounters, the sad stories of half widows. It is really a very, very sad story. And when I started getting a deeper understanding, I saw that I need to do something. I'm a human being. So as a human being, as Hazreti Ali says, we are brothers and sisters with all human beings because, we come from the same God. So in creation, we are brothers and sisters. And of course, with those people, we are also brothers and sisters in faith, right? So I told myself, Turgay, this is your responsibility and you need to do something. And then I wrote that song, Kashmir is my name. Normally I'm a story writer, and in my songs, the key word is the story. So that's why in that song I say, which story can I tell? Which pain here can I sell? And then when I wrote I'm Kashmir, again I say, I will tell you a story. So every time I mention about story, because there are really sad stories, and these stories are always repeating themselves, and we keep watching. Sometimes we feel really bad, we feel helpless. We say, okay, what can we do? Because in the world where we live, unfortunately, might makes right. So if you are strong, you think that you can do anything you want. And international organizations, unfortunately, they also, they just follow the power. And if you're mighty, you can have some influence on these international institutions. But what we know, in Indian occupied Kashmir, we are racing against the time. because we know that the Indian government unfortunately wants to change the demography in a very short time. They are trying to do what Israel did, you know, in 50 years, maybe in 5 years. So that's why at this point, you know, young people have really a huge responsibility. So this is not about only some physical, you know, possibilities or economic, you know, condition. Young people, they are the treasure. You know, you are the treasure of this country. And even if, you know, after a certain age, even if you become rich, you get all this, you know, career, a prestigious job, but still you don't have time. You know, time is really the most important thing, and young people should utilize this time effectively. So I don't mean just you're going to focus on international relations. Of course, you will try to educate yourself, but first of all, we need to know the essence of our belief very well. Because when you start resembling your enemy, that time actually you are getting defeated. So that's why the biggest danger for Kashmiri people here, for Pakistani people, for Turkish people, the biggest danger is to become a stranger with themselves. When you get estranged from your identity, that time you have lost everything. Even if you become successful in the world, but still you have lost yourself. And when you have lost yourself, you can never buy yourself from any market, you know. And for us, we believe in the hereafter, and we know that when we die, of course, we are going to be questioned about, you know, the words we were supposed to say, but we didn't say. The actions we were supposed to do, but we didn't do. I mean, just today, in the morning, I was visiting the National Museum, and I saw, you know, Muhammad Iqbal, Quali Azam, you say, and just, you know, I started reflecting. If those people woke up today, and if they saw Pakistan, if they saw Kashmir, what would they think about us? Because Muhammad Iqbal is such a person. If we understood Muhammad Iqbal, I tell you today, Pakistan was supposed to be a superpower. If we understood Muhammad Iqbal in the Muslim world, today, Muslim world was supposed to be very different. He's not only a poet, he's a philosopher, and you know, he brought enlightenment and piety together. So when you check him, you get a very different perspective of Islam. But unfortunately, you know, if they wake up, we're going to feel ashamed of ourselves, right? So, because we are not at the point we're supposed to be. So for that, we really need to work hard, and we should know that, you know, as Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, says, if your 2 days are equal, you are a loser. So every day, you should try to make more progress. And of course, the progress starts with us. The real revolution starts inside, and you've got the biggest enemy. The biggest enemy is also within you. And with your enemy, you're staying at every time, and you can be stabbed back by your enemy at any moment. So that's why we need to be careful about our own ego. You know, as Hazrat Ali says, if you're looking for treasure, the treasure is within you, right? So first of all, we need to know ourselves better, and as young people, I believe that inshallah, the future is going to be different. For that, we shouldn't lose, we shouldn't despair, because in our belief, there is no room for hopelessness, right? There is no room for despair. So inshallah, things are going to change, and for that, of course, we also need to do our best. I mean, I really feel honored to be here, to be a part of this occasion. So I hope, you know, I've got also some good news. You know, I didn't come to Pakistan and Kashmir with empty hands. I brought a new song, and this song is about Turgay Evren. So yesterday in the press club, so we had also some introduction. So inshallah, tonight or tomorrow because there was something wrong with one of the images, and now we are correcting. So we are going to dedicate an English song, and it'll be the first international song about Sayyid Ali Gillani. And I hope that when you see that song in social media, you're going to support it, you're going to share, because anytime when I share any video, I'm also struggling against Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, because all these platforms unfortunately are controlled by Indians. You know, they've got really great influence, so you're also fighting against all those people, because many people lose their accounts, right? Many people unfortunately lose their accounts. So maybe you see some people say, I have lost 30 accounts and I have opened a new one. And even sometimes Twitter also tries to prevent the people from opening new accounts. See that those people are being murdered every day, and while being murdered, their voice is also being silenced. So even while being murdered, they think that they shouldn't have any chance raising their voice. And what kind of world is this? You know, these really bad, but inshallah the things are going to change. First of all, we're going to wake up, as again Rumi says, one awakened person, you know, one person can awaken 1,000 sleeping people. So everything starts with one person, and we can do that. The song that we have written was written actually in Istanbul. It was arranged in Los Angeles, and it was recorded in Switzerland, Basel, and the video was created in Ankara, and we got some video footage and some photos from Islamabad. So there is a lot of efforts, and inshallah you're going to support these efforts. Okay.